Hello, happy day to you. Good to have you with us on Red Barn Radio. I'm Brad Becker. Tonight we are in our 21st season of Red Barn Radio, and we welcome you to show number 783. Right. Our guests tonight on Red Barn Radio are singer-songwriter, husband-wife duo Rachel Messer and Connor Dale. Rachel Messer, who grew up in Fort Gay, West Virginia holler, draws her inspiration from the country and bluegrass greats before her, penning lyrics with a straightforward say-it-how-you-see-it style, true to her Appalachian roots. Her partner, Connor Dale, was born in Kentucky and raised in New Orleans. They've got great voices and some really fine songs here for you this evening on Red Barn Radio. Welcome, Connor Dale and Rachel Messer.
Baby, why you taking so long? I've already written 5 songs.
Just 5 more minutes, I'm putting my makeup on.
You said that 20 minutes ago.
Well, now I gotta pick out my clothes.
Well, honey, that's the 4th pair of jeans I've seen you put on.
Well, stop your complaining if you like what you see.
Why are you yelling at me?
'Cause I'm trying to get ready.
And I'm trying to leave.
Well, honey, now I'm waiting on you. You ain't even got on your shoes.
I'm taking my sweet time, guess that I'm just like you.
Well, I'll be waiting in the car outside.
I'm putting on coffee for the drive.
And I'm telling everyone it's all your fault that we ain't on time.
Quit your complaining, you did the same thing.
Why are you yelling at me?
'Cause I'm trying to get ready.
And I'm trying to leave.
I wish that you'd quit cutting the shine.
I wish you'd quit rushing me.
'Cause I'm trying to get ready. And I'm trying to leave. And I'm waiting on you. And you're waiting on me. 'Cause I'm trying to get ready. And I'm trying to leave. And I'm waiting on you. And you're waiting on me.
Good evening and welcome to Red Barn Radio. Wherever in the world you're listening, welcome to Roots Music Southern Style. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. Red Barn Radio is supported by Visit Lex, Lexington, Kentucky's Convention and Visitors Bureau. More information on what Lexington has to offer is at visitlex.com. LexArts, Lexington, Kentucky's premier cultural development, advocacy, and fundraising organization, working for the development of a strong and vibrant arts community as a means of enhancing the quality of life in Central Kentucky. Follow Red Barn Radio on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Here's the host of Red Barn Radio to tell us more about tonight's performers.
Connor Dale and Rachel Messer put together a great show, and fans across the region will tell you how much they enjoy their talent on their instruments, their fine vocal blend, and the way this couple connects on stage. Incidentally, Rachel is an impressive yodeler who served time on Team Blake during season 15 of NBC's The Voice. I know we're going to learn more about that experience as the evening progresses. It's so good to have you with us here on Red Barn Radio. Welcome back, Rachel Messer and Connor Dale.
Thank you all so much for having us. We're tickled to be here.
Oh yeah, super excited. Anyways, this is a song I wrote. It's called In My Arms. half that man. He might have bought you that big mansion that you live in. You'll be looking out those window panes, wondering where did my life go so wrong. I'm a mother, but my love is long gone. So honey, don't walk away like you are. Just stay here in my arms. I know I've been a fool since the day that you met me. Darling, I have been a fool for you. If you'd open up your eyes just to see what I've done, you wouldn't be looking for someone new. And dear, I play every song that I write you. Think you'd rather hear the radio. If you decide to leave, well, I hope that you're happy and not looking back and feeling alone. Oh, I'm gonna be the one you tell your daughter her daddy's never been half that man. He might have bought you that big mansion that you live in. You'll be looking out those window panes, wondering where did my life go so wrong. I'm a mother, but my love is long gone. So honey, don't walk away like you are. Just stay here in my arms. Whoa, honey, don't walk away like you are. Just stay here in my arms. Thank y'all. That's a fun song right there.
It's a fun song. I love that
Even
one.
more fun doing it with my honey.
Yeah. We love getting to do this together, don't we?
Oh, yeah. Been chomping at the bit to get to Red Barn Radio for a while.
Yeah, we've been working on it for a bit, but finally all played out. I'm glad. Well, this next song's one that I wrote. It's called I Didn't Listen to You, and I always tell a story about I went down to Nashville, and I'd written some songs, and I was real proud of them. And I go down there, and they say, well, it could be good, but you need to rework it. And I tell you, you got to take that steel guitar out because the classic country is never coming back. And so that was their mistake.
Man.
But I always say that is the best and worst advice that I've ever been given. The best advice, well, the worst advice, because it's, country music is nothing without steel. But the best advice, because it made me want to do it even more. So that's where the song came from. And, yeah. Music ain't a place for a light-hearted gal. Sometimes it cuts you like a knife. I've seen blue sky Kentucky days turn into California nights. And I've been there when Nashville man sat me down, gave me advice on how to win in this town. I'm sure my eyes got wide, my face went blank when he said this is what it takes. Keeping still out of country, classic sure ain't coming back. Say what you mean in just a word or two, leave the picture painted to the view. I've seen it done a few things on my own, seen people sing along, booze scooting all night long. And people ask me how I do what I do, I say I didn't listen to you. I'd sure love to see your face and see my name in lights. That old image ain't the only thing that's gonna cry, and I'll bet you wish you never said keeping still out of country. Classic sure ain't coming back. Say what you mean in just a word or two, leave a picture painted to the view. I've seen it done a few things on my own. Seen people sing along, booze scooting all night long. And people ask me how I do what I do. I say I didn't listen to you. Yeah, people ask me how I do what I do. I say I didn't listen to you. Thank y'all. Thank you.
Man, she can almost sing as pretty as she looks.
Oh, you're so sweet.
For anyone out there wanting to know, I'm just going to make a PSA here.
For all the live streamers.
For all the live streamers, she's a married woman, all right? That's all I want to say. She's a married woman. Yeah, we play a lot of places. Got to let them young bucks know.
Oh, yeah.
She's a married woman.
Yeah.
I'm happily married to that woman. She's so...
We have gotten to play all over, and we actually took a spontaneous trip to South Dakota last year, and this was not for music. It was in February. We drove our Ford Taurus station wagon down with a mattress in the back, and
Took 30 hours.
took 30 hours straight. We just kept taking turns sleeping in the back.
Actually, the drive itself took like 22 hours, but when it's blizzards the whole way,
Yeah.
it makes it 30.
February
Who
was
wants to
not
go
a
to
good
South
idea.
Dakota in February? I don't know why we thought it was a good idea, but
I don't either, but it was fun, and so we talked to this and that, and somebody pointed us to this little hotel in Deadwood, South Dakota, and so we ended up writing this song there, and it's called Spinning Wheels. I've seen the grave of a Wild Bill looked over the Wyoming hills, been 1,000 miles away from home. 7 states and how many freeways, 30 hours on the interstate. These old boots somewhere new every day. Taking me places I've only ever got to sing about. Got a windshield view of the sun going down. And I've seen the Lord in those South Dakota hills. Felt the sun kiss my face, and we're still spinning wheels. Still spinning wheels. And I felt the sand between my toes from New Orleans to Plano. And honey, I couldn't dream this up. And I took a plane far away and walked the streets of LA. Without you by my side, it just ain't the same. You're taking me places I've only ever got to sing about. Got a windshield view of the sun going down. And I've seen the Lord in those South Dakota hills. Felt the sun kiss my face, and we're still spinning wheels. You're taking me places I've only ever got to sing about. Got a windshield view of the sun going down. And I've seen the Lord in those South Dakota hills. Felt the sun kiss my face, and we're still spinning wheels. Still spinning wheels.
thank y'all.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, this is a song called Dreamer. I wrote this for my sister. And you've always been a dreamer since I've known you. You tell me how you gonna travel far and see the things the world's wanting to show you when you graduate and take off in your car. You said you're gonna fly over the ocean, get lost in some European town, meet a stranger and have a night to talk about, grow old and know that you lived loud. But somewhere down your line you quit rambling about all the opportunities you'll seize. I'll tell you what I told you back in high school. This town's too small for all of your big dreams. And I'm happy that you found someone to call you babe. I hope they love you like what you deserve. But I see it in your eyes, you want another place. So take your love and venture on this earth. Never let someone keep you where you're sad. If they love you, then they'll run away with you. And honey, you're a dreamer and you're longing to roam and do the things that make you feel free. I wanna see you living out your dreams. And you've always been somebody I could talk to. I wanna see those starry eyes again. So call me anytime and I will answer. And tell me all the things that you're dreaming. Thank y'all. Thank you guys.
All right. Our guest this evening on Red Barn Radio is Rachel Messer and Connor Dale. Rachel grew up in West Virginia, and Connor in Kentucky and New Orleans.
New Orleans, yeah.
True. And now, you both landed eventually in Louisa.
Yes.
And how is it that you happen to be in Louisa? What was the draw there? Is that your original home? Is that your birthplace, Connor?
Not originally, no. I was born in Louisville, and Rachel was born and raised right across the river from Louisa.
Over in West Virginia, a little town called Fort Gay.
Yeah.
So
Figured we meet in the middle. You know,
He got me across
moved
the
up
river.
from New Orleans and drive 700 and some miles, and Rachel just goes across the river, so right in the middle. Right?
So, is there a sign for Fort Gay right off of 64? Or is it that close? Is it that close to Huntington?
It's about an hour south of Huntington.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha, yeah.
So we're way out in the boonies.
Oh, all right. So I would love for you all to, while it's fresh in my mind, I'd love for you to tell the South Dakota story because I lived there for a long time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so I think of that long drive you guys in your Taurus.
Yeah.
Taurus wagon.
Yes.
Oh, I love this.
2003.
Yeah. So okay. So is that about
Well,
the
it's
time?
almost a classic, not to brag or anything.
Sure. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, question. Get big money for that. I'm sure on the market.
Someday.
Today's
Someday.
market.
If it doesn't rust before we have a chance to sell it. You know?
Is that about the time or shortly after you all met, or?
That was last year actually. So we've
Well,
been.
I thought you said 2003.
I think it was two.
The
Taurus.
Taurus.
The car,
Yes.
Duh.
Yes.
Yeah, that would make you a little
Lord,
older.
we don't
than
age
you
well, I
are.
guess.
Right,
We
yeah.
must look a lot older than we are, Rachel.
No. Let's go backwards. Yeah. So 2003 Taurus
Yes.
last year.
Last year.
Last
yeah.
year, yes.
I got you. How did you happen to go to South Dakota? I mean, what was that all about?
Well, we had planned for a trip actually a little later in February, and I don't know why we planned on February for South Dakota, but
We didn't think it, like,
We were just-
weather-wise, we
yeah.
weren't aware.
we were like,
what
let's just take
happens
a
there.
trip. I think we were just coming out of 2020, so we had been, at home way too long, and so
Oh, you weren't thinking straight.
we weren't
we
thinking
weren't,
straight.
no,
We were a little, So
I remember we were sitting at the dinner table.
yeah,
And
at my mom and dad's house. Yeah.
Kim and Scotty's house, and we were just looking at each other, and I was like, let's just go. Like, let's just do it now.
Like instead of waiting a few weeks until the end, I'm like, well, let's just do it now. But there was no real rhyme or reason why we did it. We just had that hunger for adventure. And,
Yeah.
You know,
and we actually, we didn't book any hotels or anything. So we just took off driving, and we had the mattress in the back of our station wagon.
yes.
And
so hotels were taken care
so
of.
hotels were taken care of. We thought, well, we'll just rent a camping spot for the first night till we really figure it out. And then we'll just plan where we want to go. And we did that. And we woke up with ice on the inside of the windows.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah,
We left. I remember we
so-
left Friday evening, and we pulled into this camping spot, which was apparently like you can't find the electric outlets if they're under 2 feet of snow.
Yeah, sure. Right.
Who would have thought? You know, well, we didn't. So,
Yeah.
so
Right,
we
well,
ended up
it's-
showing up at like 1 a.m. Sunday, and it is just covered in snow, and we're just like, what do we do? You know. So I don't know.
Oh, Connor, South Dakota is so crazy. You know, it's like you have 2 feet of snow, and then 20 feet before that, it's bare ground
right,
because
yeah.
the wind blows so hard.
Yeah,
How long did it take you to drive out there?
it was about 30 hours.
Yeah.
So it's like 25 hours to Sioux Falls, and then 30 more hours across to
Oh, yeah,
Deadwood.
Yes.
It was.
Oh, yeah.
It was crazy. I mean, from the time we left home, it was snowing, and then by the time we got to Ashland and all along 64, it was blizzards the whole way, and it was just like, this is what we are signed up for. I guess.
Hey, that's great. That
Good
sounds like a
memories.
great adventure and a great
was
thing
fun.
to do as a couple and have that experience. That's very cool. So at that point in time, were you guys already into your music pretty deep?
Yeah, we've been doing it for a while. We hadn't taken the plunge to go full time yet. I've been singing since I've been a kid, and he's been,
Sure.
involved in music since then too. But we, and I since The Voice, I booked a lot more gigs and festivals and things like that. But we hadn't decided to just drop it all. So I'm still in that in between.
So pre-plunge, what were you guys? What else were you doing in addition to you singing and trying to sort of start up your career?
Yeah.
What was happening during the pre-plunge?
Pre-plunge,
Pre-plunge.
more stability.
Sure.
When you have a 9 to 5, it's all great and
Yeah,
everything.
Little cushion.
Oh yeah, not too bad, but
Yeah.
it's a whole different world when you quit your pretty good paying job and you just decide to live your dream and
Yeah.
play songs and hope people like them enough to pay you for them.
What was the job that you worked before?
I was a sales manager at a Clayton Homes selling double wides,
Okay.
single wides.
And was that here or?
That was in Louisa
Okay.
up until the end of September.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
so just a few months ago,
Yeah.
really.
And Rachel, were you also working prior to the time when you started to sort of envision yourself singing professionally
Yeah.
and performing?
No, I had my first job right before The Voice. I worked at a deli bakery, so I iced cakes for a while, cut deli meat,
And spilled donuts.
spilled
She spilled
donuts,
a lot
a
of
whole
donuts
rack.
all over the
Yeah.
floor.
Yeah, I'm a legend there. But so I did that. But after The Voice, music kept me pretty busy. But it, like he was saying, it wasn't until just recently we both decided to really, do it full time. So
How did the two of you meet?
good question.
Go ahead, Rachel.
Oh, all right.
I want to know
No, you
Rachel's
go ahead, you
perspective.
Uh,
We met at a performing arts place in
Yeah.
Prestonsburg called the Mountain Arts Center,
oh, sure.
and it was actually an open mic.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked up to her, and this is the first thing I ever said to her, and I had
Pickup line.
no regret whatsoever. I asked her, "Do you need help tuning your guitar?" That was the first thing that ever came to my head, and she
Pretty
was
good.
I've never used that line.
well, it doesn't work. I'll tell you that much. It doesn't work because she said no. And then I walked away, and we didn't see each other for a whole nother year.
Okay,
And I-
good. So stop there.
Yeah, there you go.
How about your rendering of that story?
Yes, so I saw this cute little New Orleans boy. So he was in Kentucky for mission work. So he worked with a mission group, and so he was here doing work for that for the summer. I think just that. Yeah. So so I was like, oh, who is this? But the timing definitely wasn't right in my personal life either. So so
Hence-
yeah. it's-
Hence the no.
hence
So
the
when
no.
you said no, it was like
Oh yeah,
Get Thee Behind Me?
Yeah,
I didn't even get his
Yeah.
name. So
We
yeah.
didn't actually put the pieces together until I actually came back about a year later,
Yeah.
saw her singing on that stage at a concert, and I came up and talked to her afterwards, and we didn't really put the pieces together that we had talked. The first time we officially met was a year before when she rejected me in cold blood. You know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That ain't my fault. It wasn't good.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
And so how long after you guys re-met the second time did you actually sort of become a thing?
That's complicated too. No, we talked and went out on dates, and he took me.
It all started as collaborating on
It's
music.
true. He just said he wanted to
Oh. Yeah, we
Yeah,
collaborate.
we just wanted to collaborate on music.
Uh-huh.
And so
So we got together and collaborated, going going up to
writing songs.
writing
and, yeah.
songs and all this fun stuff. And we dated officially for a week after a 2-month long series of dates, and then we actually broke up for about 5 months.
Yeah.
And realized that over that time we both learned a lot, and so we ended up back together. And this one's for keeps.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so
All right.
it's been a bit of a journey.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Fun.
And so by the time that you guys were collaborating, had each of you already written several songs, a lot of songs? Were you
Yeah.
just starting to think about, had either of you worked together with another person doing duets and that sort of thing?
Not much,
Not
not
really,
really. I
no.
mean, yeah, he's always been writing, and I've pretty much always liked to write too. But even our early co-writing songs, they're kind of cringy. So
Yeah, it was.
we had
People
never
have asked
done
us to
anything
sing
like
for it
that.
in live, and like it never works out as
So
good as they
embarrassing.
imagined it to. They're so cheesy but yeah, we'll hold
Yeah.
on to them, but no one will ever hear them, just us.
Well, I'll bet our audience would love to hear one of those first two. No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I won't do
We'll
that.
just
yet.
say it's one of the other ones we already planned to sing, and be like, I guess we wrote this one first, and they'll be like, oh, it's better than you said it was. So,
Well, I like the idea. Though it's very romantic, the whole story.
Thank you.
Love it. Yeah, it's
yeah,
really
I'm a
it's
bit of a romancer.
yeah. Well, it's
He
cool
is.
that you found each other.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Definitely divine intervention.
I'm telling you, I don't know how people doing this by themselves.
Yeah.
I can't imagine not doing it with Rachel, just like doing it by yourself, just a lone person, just single act, just traveling from town to town, just like by yourself. But me and Rachel, like being able to do this like husband and wife, I mean, you literally just living your dream with your best friend. Like it's literally the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And so I know, I imagine she feels the same way, but
I do. It is. It's always a dream, I think, for a musician to find a spouse that loves the same thing you do. But honestly, I just never kind of saw it as a real possibility because
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of how crazy would it be for the stars to align to meet somebody who loves the same thing, does the same thing. So it was, yeah.
Well, it seems that you know what is aligned nicely for you guys is that you are actually able to do it with the spirit of being together.
Yeah.
Because that's an important part of this. If you're going to, especially if you're going to do it with a spouse.
Yeah.
Because we have also heard many artists come here and say, I love working, I love traveling by myself. It's so nice to have the
Yeah.
freedom
Yeah.
and to get out there and be able to be spontaneous. I don't have to worry about, is the place to my partner's liking where
Right.
I'm going to stay?
Yeah.
Is a sofa all okay tonight?
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
So I would guess though that from time to time there are some challenges.
yeah.
Yeah. Could you talk a little bit about those? The challenges that you have of doing something that you feel really passionate about personally
Yeah.
and sharing that with another person?
Yeah. I mean,
I flash back to North Carolina.
to North Carolina.
Oh, tell the story.
Oh, yes.
Come on, it'll be therapeutic for you to tell this story.
Don't make me relive it.
Yes.
No.
Basically, for this one trip, we were playing this festival down in North Carolina, and Rachel was like, "I think you said to allowed me to handle booking,
Yeah.
which as
or
far as the
stay.
hotel goes, and I don't know, I like
You probably know where this is
unique
going.
places. Well, it wasn't a Holiday Inn by any means. It was this old cabin with no electricity. I don't know why I thought this was a good
Mind
idea.
you, at the
but
time we are living in our tiny home that also is no electricity. We went by purely solar at that point. So,
yes.
yeah, he.
So I booked us at a cabin that didn't have like any electricity, no heating, no cooling, or
It's
anything
also
like that. I
solar.
don't know why I thought this was a good
It's like
idea.
you're back in South Dakota again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was thinking like, oh, well, we don't live with electricity, so it's just like going home or something. Like I don't know. But Rachel gets all dolled up and curls her hair and all this, so she was kind of mad at me about that. But
It's okay. Well, yeah, there was like no plug-in for my curling iron, so that makes things a little hard. And the thing that was really a kicker was the way that the boards were positioned. You could see the outside from the inside, and so it really did look like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So I was a little scared,
that was fun. Though.
but it was
I
a
had
good
fun.
memory. It worked out.
Yeah.
But,
And you also have, what about those moments on stage when, Rachel, when you say you go through a song that you just did, you go through it,
Oh, yeah.
you go through it again, you go through it again. Okay, remember, this is where you come in with your harmony. Yeah, okay,
Oh,
get off
yeah.
your, and then you're playing and he doesn't come in with the harmony.
It's like you're.
And then she
It's
shoots
like
me
you've
that-
been
that
behind
look
the scenes with us.
Like, who
No.
you been talking to, Brad?
Yeah. You all learn to deal with those things and
yeah.
and be patient with each other.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, marriage. It's just the same as marriage. Off the road, it's just you're going to do things that bug each other, and especially probably more so because you're spending all the time together.
Yeah.
So, but it comes with its challenges. It's fun though.
Huh. How do you all handle your booking? Does one of you sort of shoulder that more than the other?
Definitely Connor.
We've been doing our own booking for a while.
We've worked with some people, but Connor's been the main guy to, reach out. He
That
just,
is a bit scarier too,
Yeah.
especially like when you are, you have like a steady job and then you decide to quit that steady job to do something that's not steady, and then you have to sell yourself and like convince people that you're not even in front of, all around the country, hey, we're so talented, you should pay us to play at your venue or something like that. And, it's a little bit nerve-wracking to quit and do that, but we've handled our booking for quite a while, and we have a couple people we work with and everything now. So
Yeah,
So
it's
that's
been.
good.
Yeah, he's definitely already got the salesman nature. He's just a people person though. We go to these shows, and the other day I was just laughing because we were at a little intermission, and I was up front like fiddling with that stuff. I'm so bashful, and he is not. And I look out and I'm like, where is he? And we don't know like hardly anybody here, and he's off just talking to somebody. I'm like, oh
Connor.
my gosh.
how dare you?
How dare you leave me? But yeah, so it very much suits him.
Well, we're gonna talk some more in a little while, but before we do that, I want to sort of introduce your special gift, one of your special gifts, which is you yodel.
Yes.
Yeah, and I would love it if you and you're going to do a tune, sort of showcasing that a little bit. Would you mind for us, for the audience, sort of breaking down the sort of deconstructing the yodel? Like, how does that work?
Yeah.
What is the yodel?
It's really just a very exaggerated break in your voice. So like, I can't do it quietly. It's very loud, but like,
So it takes a lot of air.
it does. It takes a lot of air, and
Well, let it rip. Do one.
we'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get back to some music with Connor and Rachel. They're going to do a song now called Anne.
Riding through the desert, I can hear it through the wind. My love's come to take me home again. He's searching till he's found me, and I know his love is true. He's come to take me home again. I hear it through the wind, and it goes Well, I know it's my time to go, but goodbye still is rough. I hear him calling out my name, I know it's my true love. All other attempts have not shown, but now, oh, now I know he's come to take me home again, and this time I'll go. And I cry, riding through the desert, I can hear it through the wind. My love has come to take me home again. Thank you. Thanks so much.
All right, I get to sing a song I wrote about Rachel again. I write a lot of songs about Rachel. She's very worth songwriting, but again, one of those times that we, well, I guess it was our first date that we ever had. I remember we were in the upstairs of this coffee shop, and it was down in Prestonsburg, Kentucky, and there was paint all over the walls, just a bunch of crazy colors and everything. And I remember I ordered a latte, and Rachel, she ordered a black coffee, which I thought was like
Mainly
really
because
cool.
I didn't know how to order anything else.
Yeah. And she had a Johnny Cash T-shirt on, and I was like blown away. I just thought, man, this is a different kind of girl. So, but I wrote a song. It's called "In Love with a Stranger." Walking to see a hurricane of colors bleeding from the walls. In the upstairs of a coffee shop, first time in love I do recall. Is it me or did a comet take you away and put a star in your seat? Thunder's rolling in my heart because those blues are looking back at me. Oh, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with a stranger. Oh, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with you. Now you're standing in a white dress, looking back to me, it can't be true. And I'm wandering to the cosmos, how I got a woman like you. Am I the heads up pennyman, always wearing Lucky branded shoes? Never walking this whole distance, my lady sends me flying to the moon. Oh, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with a stranger. Oh, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with you. Well, I gave you my whole life, now my stone is waiting solemnly and still. Darling, take your time, 'cause I'll be at the pearly gates until we walk in together. Surely the big man wouldn't care. walking to see a hurricane of colors and more mystery to spare. Oh, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with an angel. Oh, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with you. Oh, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with a stranger. Oh, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with you. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
He's just as sweet in his songs as he is in life.
Wow.
Yeah, and that song that you just heard, it's
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
be
yeah.
it's gonna be coming out. He's releasing his very first single, and it's that song, but it's all worked up. So y'all be sure it's March 3rd.
March 3rd.
Yeah.
You'll be able to hear that on all platforms and all the things people say.
Yeah, well, we spent a lot of years playing in just restaurants, and I mean we still do sometimes, but not every gig is as fun as this one. But we spent a lot of time playing in a Peking hibachi, and they're just watching the fire. They're not watching you. So I wrote this song, and it's kind of just making fun, I guess, at my own self, and it's called Jar Money. Been sitting here 3 hours now, me and these strings going round and round, putting a hurting on me. It's my 16th time singing Yodeling. I only got a few sets to go. People passing by and they don't even notice. It don't take much and just be nice. It's just jar money and a couple of dimes, a couple loose ones and a few of them remind you. Trying to set the pace for tonight, just enough. Give me a shake and a fry, yeah. Jar money, it'll get me by. I'm hurting my living one tip at a time, and I seen you just walk on by. They really like it when I sing some Denver. I'm playing chords I don't even remember, making it up as I go, just trying to keep the night from moving so slow. Couple pennies fall straight to the bottom, making up the words 'cause I forgot 'em, counting the change to the glass. And it's just jar money and a couple of dimes, a couple loose ones and a few of them remind, just trying to set the pace for tonight, just enough. Give me a shake and a fry, yeah. Jar money, it'll get me by. I'm earning my living one tip at a time, and I seen it just to walk on by. Thank you.
Well, we've got lots more music and conversation with Connor Dale and Rachel Messer. I'd like to take a minute to remind listeners that Red Barn live streams, both tonight's and on any Wednesday, remain available online for you to view at your convenience. They're just sitting there like a big old pineapple, ready for you to come and enjoy. Our live video stream is available on the WEKU.org website, as is our audio stream, compliments of WGAD.net in central New York. Don't miss a single episode of the program, and be sure to tell other people about what it is that we're doing, why it is that you don't miss a single Wednesday live stream yourself. Red Barn Radio is dark next week, February 15th. Be sure to join us, though, on February 22nd when we bring back William Matheny to the Red Barn stage. A singer-songwriter extraordinaire from Mannington West Virginia, up north in the state near Morgantown. Matheny is a road warrior who's been out taking his song solo to coffee houses and with bands to clubs for a number of years. He's a guy who really knows how to write a smart song, and be sure to be here to get hooked on some of his newest music on a forthcoming album of songs. And that, I know, will be a good thing for you to check out with us. Rolling Stone calls his music cerebral alt country from an unusually versatile singer. American Songwriter says William Matheny is quickly becoming one of independent country music's most exciting emerging artists. So join us February 22nd for an evening of songs and conversation with William Matheny. Let's get back to tonight's Red Barn Radio program now. We welcome you live on our social media platforms, broadcasting from the Arts Place Performance Hall here in the great city of Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome back, Connor Dale and Rachel Messer.
Woke up this morning in the filthy yesterday. There's a worry on my mind and the bills I gotta pay. I make my cash with a needle and a gun. While my family's at home, I'm out here on a run. There's a stranger up there and he looks to wanna spend. Lesson to be learned when a stranger reaches in. If you ain't got a spine, you'll be facing all the crowds. Gotta teach a lesson to this poor stranger now. Horse Creek, my butter and my bread, pays the bills and it keeps me out of debt. One little thing, there's a body in the street. You can't see to the bottom of Horse Creek. So I weighed him down and I threw him in dead. That muddy water was blood-stained red. Didn't take much time, they were chasing at my tail. I ran in this house, I ain't going to jail. Go on out, don't be stupid, you're alive. I'm thinking it over, I'm not doing any time. So I looked through the glass and I shot a man in blue. And I heard the call and they let them bullets loose. Mama, mama, I ain't coming home. Tell my brother right where I belong. I killed a man just to watch him bleed. Gonna die here today at the head of Horse Creek. Horse Creek, my butter and my bread, pays the bills till I wind up dead. One little thing that I wish that I had known is to stay out of Horse Creek and leave them drugs alone. Thank y'all. Thank you all. I'll turn down here real quick. That's a song I wrote called Horse Creek. I hope you guys like it. This is a song called Hello Lady.
Hello, lady, in my doorway tonight. Did you bring your perfume? I think I'll close my eyes. Sing me that song, a song you know I love. I got a secret that I'm not proud of. Hello, lady, you're wearing that white dress. I bought some roses, the kind that you like best. Whisper to me, I'll be a morning dove if you give me her lips, and I'll give you my love. And I'll give you my love if you give me her smile. I hate that it's this way, but it was one of a kind. I'll give you my heart if you give me her laugh. It's been such a long time, but I am still attached. I'll give you my love if you get me her back. Hello, lady, you smell like she used to. I close my eyes, imagine she was you. Sing me that song, the song you know I love. She sang it to me the night we fell in love. Hello, lady, a dress was best on her. I hate to get you her favorite flowers. She used to call me her sweet morning dove before she left me to fly home up above. And I'll give you my love if you give me her smile. I hate that it's this way, but it was one of a kind. I'll give you my heart if you give me her laugh. It's been such a long time, but I am still attached. I'll give you my love if you get me her back. I'll give you my love if you get me her back. Thank y'all.
Nice song, Connor.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and earlier you started off this set with Horse Creek Part 2. Is there a Part 1?
Yes,
Yeah,
there is a part 1.
Yeah.
But I like the part 2 better. So.
sure. I gather that's why you chose it to play it. What happens in Part 1?
It tells the same story just from a different perspective.
Ah,
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's I don't
Tells
know.
the story from the perspective of the one.
Yeah.
Um,
So in the story, there was a victim and who got killed, and that's at Horse Creek Part 2. Well, it kind of tells the story about why he was out and what all happened to him and everything, and just kind of the whole story about like all the leading to kind of the end and the cops and everything. And it kind of picks off, or I guess is left off in the first song. It's kind of confusing.
that's all right.
Yeah, but it kind of lets off at the end of the first song, close to the bridge, where I think the last line is, "And that dealer man is shooting at the law," and so it kind of picks up at the bridge of the song I sang here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a
It's a cool story,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to check out the whole story and see it all together and even hear it
yeah,
all together at some point. We'll
Yeah.
figure out a time to do that.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll listen.
yeah.
I'll watch for it online.
Awesome.
Yeah. So why don't you take us back to the time prior to the time when you met Rachel, Connor, and prior to the time when you were doing mission work and to your younger life. I'm wondering, how old were you in New Orleans? How long did you live there?
I lived there for 7 or 8 years. It was pretty much right at the start of middle school all the way through high school. And
Oh, those are big years.
yeah.
So
yeah.
you have some pretty strong. What are your memories of New Orleans in terms of how New Orleans played into your love for music? Is there a story there?
I don't necessarily. I mean, I've always loved music. It definitely allowed me to meet the people who helped my passion for music grow. I had a lot of friends in New Orleans that when I moved down there, I was, well, I guess it was before, I don't know, what about middle school? I was 10 years old when I moved down. And so it was, we were homeschooled all the way through middle school, all the way through. I mean, I never went to public school, private school. We had that conversation a little bit, but so it was a little bit harder to like meet people, you know. But I remember I was riding my bike with my sister one time, and we look over and see this field of kids like playing dodgeball, and I recognized one of them because I saw him in a gym somewhere, and I was like, hey, just pull over there. And so I don't know. That's when I met like one of my best friends that I had down there, and we would always play guitar. We all called them stairwell sessions, or what we called them, or essentially they're just jam sessions. But there was this old school we used to go to, and we would it just sounded like so acoustical, like acoustic.
Was it like an abandoned?
It wasn't
school?
abandoned. It just wasn't a school anymore. It was
Okay.
it was held the building was used to host volunteers to help against like Hurricane Katrina victims and things like that, you know. So people would come in and we would host them in this building, this old school, and you know, send them out and do work and stuff in the city. But the stairwell is just all glass walls. So the stairwell was on the outside of the building, but it was there were walls on the outside of the stairwell that were just glass. So you hit like a single chord, and dude, it would go on for like 2 minutes. So it was like the place that we all wanted to play
that's
music
magic.
at.
Yeah.
It was awesome. So I think about those times when you talk about music in New Orleans, and it's like a lot of people talk about jazz, and because obviously that's a huge part of New Orleans. But for me, you know, personally, it was just like that memory of playing so many times in that stairwell with my sister and my brother. And all of our friends that we had in our little group. We just loved hanging out and playing music, and that's really, I mean, where I learned to, I guess, express myself with it and kind of get a little bit more comfortable, you know, sharing with other people, opening up to share a song that you wrote, and it was a pretty cool place. You know?
Well, that's big.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's big, but it's interesting. It really could have happened anywhere, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been anywhere, USA, any city.
Yeah.
You just happened to be in New Orleans. And
Yeah.
As young people, our young people don't necessarily experience the culture of their city the way that adults do.
Right, yeah. It wasn't like I was walking the French Quarter every night
Yeah,
or something
right.
like that, you know?
Exactly, right. That's funny. Well, so take us from there, though. Did you have a teacher in particular who had a big impact on you, or another or a particular artist who really moved you to push yourself to play more and write?
As far as I've had a couple teachers. Mom got me some teachers, and Mom was always super. She'd crack the whip if I wasn't practicing, because I mean, she wanted the best for me, and you know, she got me a guitar, and so 30 minutes every day. That's like the minimum that she would require is like 30 minutes every day. She held me accountable, and she let me. You know, I'd practice and like get a little bit better and everything. And I mean, music for me started when I was 8 years old, and I didn't ask for this, but for some reason my neighbor felt inclined to get me a guitar on my 8th birthday. And he just showed up with to our door and said, "Here, this is for Connor." And I never played guitar, never had a desire to play it or anything like that. And his name was Jeff, and he lives in Louisville, I think, still. But yeah, that's how music started for me. And I guess now I've had so many influences. I mean, Rachel is definitely not New Orleans, you know? So, like, coming out of high school, and 3 days after I graduated high school, I moved from New Orleans to Eastern Kentucky. I slept in the basement of a church for a few months. It was all pretty crazy.
You moved, and you were how old at that point?
17.
17. And was that your time to leave home?
Not
was your family still down there?
Well, it was. I was asked to be a part of that ministry
Yeah,
organization,
sure.
and so that's kind of what led to that. So I spent the whole summer in Eastern Kentucky, and then at that time my parents had moved up to Kentucky
Okay.
from New Orleans. They're back in New Orleans now with my sisters, and we're all a little spread out. My brother's in Missouri and everything, but yeah, I mean, as far as the music influence goes, moving from there and getting married to Rachel and starting to know Rachel, her music influences rub off on me so much. Now I'm listening to some good old country music, and it's not what I was born on, but
So prior to that time, were you more listening to more rock, more folk, sort of?
there's this artist that I always, as far as songwriting goes, I think he's just amazing. His name is Gregory Alan Isakov, and he's not incredibly popular. Do you listen?
I know who he is,
Okay.
yeah, and I've listened to some of his music.
He's extreme to me, and I love it. Like, I've heard stories about the way he writes, and he'll like lock himself in his barn for a few days and then just put the lyrics on the walls and like just wrote an album that way. At least that's the way the story goes. And so I'm like, want to be that passionate of a songwriter, somebody who's just so dedicated to that, to like make somebody feel something through a song. It's just, yeah.
Well,
So I
it's
think
great
about
that you
him.
mentioned him, because I'm sure a lot of our listeners haven't necessarily heard
Yes.
of his music, and so
Yes.
that's very cool.
If you haven't, whichever camera.
There we go.
Yeah,
That's right.
do it.
Just look to anyone.
Yeah.
They'll figure that out. Thanks, Connor. I'm just kind of curious to know your story, and that's great. Rachel, so I wonder when you think of your musical life, is it very much sort of PV, pre-voice and AV
Yeah.
life? Yeah, and tell us about the experience of leading up to your opportunity to do the voice, and you can tell the whole story, 'cause we really
Okay,
love
well,
to hear this.
so I was born on.
That's all right.
I was born in a little town.
Yes, born in a little town. No, but so yeah, just starting from my childhood though. I mean, I grew up singing in church. I mean, first time I think I ever sang in church, I was probably around 3. My parents are, yeah, so they could tell you probably a little better than me. But I was hiding behind the piano. I was so terribly, painfully bashful. And so through the years, my experiences have helped that. But I grew up in a very musical family. My papa on my mom's side was in a bluegrass band for a lot of years. And then on my dad's side, he's always played music. And
Dad, who's here tonight.
yes, who is also here.
All right.
Yes. So from both sides of my mom and my dad's side of my family, it's just always been a huge influence. So I grew up on, all the Ralph Stanley and a lot of Southern gospel. It wasn't really till later in my teenage life that I started transitioning into classic country. I mean, a little here and there, but I mostly grew up on, Southern gospel, bluegrass. So that's kind of where my roots are. But
Rachel, do you remember when you were singing back in church as a little kid? Were you already then starting to sort of stylize your voice in a country way, or did that really very much come later on?
Well, coming from, West Virginia, I think we have a little bit of an accent. So, so I think that part comes naturally. Connor teases me all the time. But so I think it's pretty just natural to have a country sound to it.
Sure.
But I actually didn't start writing my own music till I was probably 16 or 17. I always liked poetry and liked to write poetry and stuff like that, but I could never seem to pen an actual song. So, and by that time, I had started listening to a lot more classic country and stuff like that. So I definitely did find my sound throughout the years.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. Let's keep going now. Let's get you to the point where. So talk to us about the story about how you ended up finding an opportunity to do the voice. I'm sorry. I know you've told the story a lot, but never to our audience.
No,
Yeah.
it's been a while. It's been a while.
Oh, okay, good.
But yeah, so I had auditioned a time or two in the past, and it's you go in, it's an open call, so nobody really gets a ton of time to be considered. Honestly, it's just kind of like one right after the other, and so those kind of never turned into anything. And then one day I got a random email from one of the producers, and they asked me to come in for a private audition in Nashville. And I remember, I think my mom was doing dishes, and I walked in there. I was still living at home at the time. And I was like, Mom, the voice just wrote me in. I just don't think I want to go through this again. Like, I don't know if I'm going to do it. And we talked, and she's like, well, you should try it at least. I mean, it would be fun to go down there anyways. An excuse to take a trip to Nashville.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, we'll do it.
Kim's always down to take a trip.
Mom's always down.
Always down to take a trip.
Yeah, so I did that, and I think they let me know right then, okay, yeah, we'd like to see more of you. And so it kind of went from there.
So, okay, the you're going so fast.
Sorry.
That's okay. No, the original auditions, are those just like they happen in little schools and churches and stuff in areas, or?
No, it's a pretty big scale thing. I went to one in Chicago.
Oh.
I went to did I go to another one? It may have just been that one. But yeah, they're kind of all over.
Okay, so this was a project to go and
Yeah.
audition. Okay, it wasn't like
Yeah.
just say they're having an audition at our school cafeteria
No.
this weekend. Okay.
It was a big trip. So yeah, after one or two trips like that, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this again.
And was it frustrating? So when you went and did that those other times, like going to some place like Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
you're how old at that time?
Oh gosh, probably 17. Maybe?
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when you came out of that experience, and at that point you weren't, I'm sure you got a lot of good feedback.
it's pretty good.
Some,
yeah.
Oh, or just some.
They really don't give you much feedback. I mean, there are thousands and thousands there auditioning, so it is very fast. And everybody I remember it was all in a big room, and you go up there one by one in front of the rest of your peers and do an a cappella thing. So
And how long a cappella thing do you get to do?
I think about 30 seconds. And this was a while ago, so I don't know if things have changed, but it was very intimidating.
Sounds like torture.
Yeah. Yes, it was. Yeah.
But you had the courage to go and do it again, and your mom helped with that, and
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
went down to Nashville. You got some great feedback, and you got. They said we'd like to hear more of you.
Yes. Yeah. It
And-
went great.
Yeah, and so what happened after that?
So, and a lot of people don't know this, but there are multiple auditions before you ever make it to the blind auditions. So, you have the open call with the thousands a cappella, and then if you make it past there, you go to a private audition, or, I guess in my case, I got lucky enough to be called directly to that. And then there's, another one in California. So I got the call to come back and do a pre-audition before the blind auditions. And so that was the first time I'd ever been on an airplane. So I was 19 at this point. So, and being, over the legal guardian age, nobody could come with me. So I headed out, first time on a plane by
Wow.
myself to California. It's the farthest I'd ever been from home. And did that, and it
Wow,
went
that must have
good.
been an amazing experience.
It was great. It was.
I'm just seeing you going up in the air for the first time,
my gosh.
and so far away.
Mm-hmm.
So you got there.
Yeah,
And
it went good. I think I sang. I sang the Loretta Lynn song, "You Ain't Woman Enough," and they really
Good one.
liked it. And so, and that's my papa. He always is asking me to sing that song. So when I was, thinking of what to do, I thought, well, I know this one really good. I'll do it, and it worked out.
and then you got on season
15.
15.
Yep.
On TV.
Yeah, on TV.
And you got to work with who were the judges?
So at the time it was Adam, Jennifer Hudson, Blake Shelton, and Kelly Clarkson. So
That's a pretty good lineup.
Kelly, yeah, it was amazing. Kelly and Blake turned, and I went with Blake. And so
What do you mean you went with Blake?
I chose Blake. I was like, I choose. So
I don't know. I've never participated in the program.
yeah,
So I don't know. That's how it works. The singer gets to choose.
yeah. So they have the chairs that are they're backwards to you. So you sing to their backs, and then if they like what they hear, they turn their chair. And if you get multiple, you get to pick which team you want to be on. And I had wanted to be on Blake's team all along. So he reminded me a lot of the people from home, and so I thought, well, I hope he turns. And it felt like an eternity. I'm pretty sure it was only like 35 seconds, but I was like, he's not going to do it. But he did, and so I got to be on his team. And while we were there, we had a mentor come in, and so I got to spend a few minutes with Keith Urban. And it was so cool.
Oh wow,
It was crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
So when you performed your song, did you have they have a band for you?
They did, yes.
Oh, okay. And how did so
Full-
you had to? Wow. So
Yeah.
you had to rehearse that. These are all superstar players.
Oh yeah.
Who
yeah.
don't need a lot of rehearsing, but
No.
you give them a song, a standard, and they'll do it.
Oh yeah, they are on top of it. It didn't take much. Yeah. it
Wow.
was-
Okay, so then there's the after the voice
Yeah.
life.
I mean, honestly, I always say that part was so fun and exciting, but the best part has come after that, getting to do this with Connor full time. And at the time, we were only dating, so when they had, my family got to come in, but he couldn't come. And so, 3 months away from him, and, we're at the even sweeter on each other than the honeymoon phase. We're just boyfriend, girlfriend.
I want to say that we were dating before she got on The Voice, so I just want that to be known by everybody.
You didn't
Like,
discover
some
me
people
on
are
TV.
thinking, "Whoa, she got on The Voice, and all of a sudden Connor's interested." No, I was interested the whole time. All right.
That had never occurred to me, Connor.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
Yeah, but since then it's been great. We've been getting to travel the country and play all over. We've gotten to play in South Dakota, Florida, and this has been the real dream.
Wow, that's great. Do the two of you ever play with a full band?
We have from time to time. Yeah, we've kind of started focusing on me and him, hence the multi-instrumental.
Yes, right.
But we love the full band gigs too. We love it.
Wow. Well, Rachel Messer and Connor Dale, it's been so much fun talking with you all. I'm glad we've got more music to play, so we don't have to say goodbye or anything. But thanks for talking to me. Great stories and really delightful meeting both of you and talking with you.
Oh, it's been so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Thanks for having us.
All right, let's get back to some more music with Connor Dale and Rachel Messer.
Memories like lightning bugs slipping through my hands. The sweet perfume of honeysuckle riding on the wind. We speak of someday like it's a million miles away, but we don't know when. We didn't know then. Bare feet in the bluegrass running, nothing on my mind. I'll meet you by the willow tree, I'll see you there in 5. Looking back, I didn't know I'd miss you this much now. Here I am, wishing I was 10 again, playing in the hills, just me and my best friend. And I know you're doing good, and I'm happy that you are. But I moved on. The summer makes me think of you, we dream our lives away. But time goes on now, don't it, and this holler ain't the same. We didn't know then we were living in the good old days. Didn't wanna change. Here I am, wishing I was 10 again, playing in the hills, just me and my best friend. And I know you're doing good, and I'm happy that you are. But I moved on. No, I moved on. I'd trade tomorrow for all the yesterdays with you. And here I am, wishing I was 10 again, playing in the hills, just me and my best friend. And I know you're doing good, and I'm happy that you are. But I moved on. No, I moved on. Thank you. Thank you all. That was a song I wrote about growing up with my cousins up the holler in West Virginia, and we spent a lot of days just running around, and we'd call each other. He lived just up the holler, which for those of you who don't know, the voice made me learn this technical definition. A holler is I guess it's a valley between two mountains. So that's where we grew up, and he lived just up the road, up the bottom, we say. And he'd call me on the landline up there and say, meet me at the willow tree in 5 minutes. And we'd meet there and then go run off in the hills. So that was my inspiration for that. What you got?
I got a song. The song's called Cabin in the Hills. And a little bit about me and Rachel. Rachel's got a song called Poor People Got Poor Ways. And I love hearing that song. But it's kind of true.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have $1 million laying around or nothing like that. But we were able and blessed enough to be able to buy a piece of land in Louisa, Kentucky. And on that piece of land was an old hunting cabin that was built out of pallets by the guys.
Shipping pallets?
Shipping pallets. The guys whose we bought the land off of. It was his grandsons that built it, and they were in high school and everything. And I mean, they put 2x4s in it and everything. Well, we bought that land, and then we saw that tiny little hunting cabin, and we thought, let's make that our house.
Perfect.
So we started doing that, and it took a couple years and a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of days with family coming over, and I mean, just working for hours, and we've eventually made that our house, and that's where we live, and it's nice and looks great.
380 square feet.
A whopping
But,
380 square feet,
yes.
so a total mansion,
Yeah.
But
Yep.
yeah, wow, you are really rubbing it in, ain't you, Brad? Come on now. Man, I guess we can move into Brad's garage if anything ever goes bad. Nothing would change. But I wrote a song called Cabin in the Hills. I hope you guys like it. Barefoot dancing on a hardwood floor, tell 'em nobody's home. Record playing way too loud, but we both love this song. A dozen roses on the countertop I bought a week ago. Celebration is something sweet, 'cause we're finally in these walls. And we don't have any other soul in the valley where we live. And we're okay with living alone, and I love you something big. And honey, this old piece of land is written in our will, forever calling this our home. It's a cabin in the hills. Waiting for the perfect time, it's the Lord up above, and telling us to hold on tight, 'cause he's showing us his love. And honey, there's no way we found this, it was put right in our hands by praying to the Lord above for a little piece of land. And we don't have any other soul in the valley where we live. And we're okay with living alone, and I love you something big. And honey, this old piece of land is written in our will, forever calling this our home. It's a cabin in the hills. And well, there's just some things in life that don't make sense to you and me. So I'm sending up my prayers to the Lord Almighty, and he's raining down his blessings on a couple of kids in love. This little piece of land is where I plan on growing old. And we don't have any other soul in the valley where we live. And we're okay with living alone, and I love you something big. And honey, this old piece of land is written in our will, forever calling this our home. It's a cabin in the hills, forever forever calling this our home. It's a cabin in the hills. Thank you.
Song you did before Cabin in the Hills?
I did Hello Lady, and then Rachel did 10 again,
Yeah.
and then we did Cabin in the Hills.
Okay. All right, great.
I got to tune down, boys.
Well, this next song, it's one that Connor actually wrote for me to sing. He knows my life so well, and being my spouse and my best friend, he knows my feelings a lot. So he penned this one. It's called "Almost Made It." She finds no peace in the city streets, more of an open road girl. But she finds herself in New York City, hoping a record hits the world. She grew up on a dirt road, walk a mile just to get the mail. Couple little eyes are looking up to her, and she don't wanna let them down. Got a small town looking at her back, and they're all wondering if she and I could have been. What if she ain't got what it takes? She's feeling like there's no other way. 'Cause Daddy works so hard for my dreams, and I care so much about what Mama thinks. I don't want this opportunity wasted. I don't want to be another. Almost made it. She's feeling homesick, so she calls back to the 6. The voice on the other line reminded her of why she's doing this. Funny how a dream can go up to and turn into a lifelong love. And she don't know if she's ready for all this growing up. 'Cause Daddy works so hard for my dreams, and I care so much about what Mama thinks. And I don't want this opportunity wasted. I don't want to be another. Almost made it. Been a long time coming, but I'm here now. 'Cause Daddy works so hard for my dream, and Mama brings out the best in me. Thank God it wasn't at all wasted, and I ain't another. Almost made it. Thank you. Thank you.
Alrighty, I got one here. Well, I want to say to everybody, we really appreciate y'all
Oh,
having
yeah.
us and everything.
Really means a lot.
Yes, a silent applause to that. I don't know, but we're so thankful to be here, to be able to. I mean, so cliche, but to be able to live our dream, you know, it's because of places like you guys where you give a platform for people,
Absolutely.
you know, a chance to show their talent and to kind of just try to reach out to the world and see if it reaches back. And so we really appreciate that. I just
Yeah.
feel
very blessed
humbled
to be
and
here,
thankful
yeah.
to be here. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
I'm going to sing a song I wrote. You know, I've lived in, like I was saying to you earlier, I've lived over in Louisville. I've lived in New Orleans and kind of been around a little bit and ended up in Eastern Kentucky. And I love it. Dude, I love it. I feel like this is the home that I've been waiting for, you know, and so I wrote a song about it. It's kind of about finding that home and, you know. Mother, mother, clear my mind. The city lights are blinding me. The highway noise is far too loud. There's always unwanted company. When I lie awake underneath your stars, I look to see their shine. My gaze is stopped by the city fog that I know your stars are hiding behind. Mother, mother, help me please. Can't you see I lost my wits? 'Cause I've been longing for your embrace. I ain't felt your sunlight kiss. When I'm walking on those city streets, I never feel more alone. But if I die in these mountains, at least I'll die knowing I'm home. Mother, you've been good to me. You're there when no one is. A fire under your pine trees is the blood flowing in my wrists. You're wild, but I like to think you're letting me get by. 'Cause I give reverence to your beauty, and I'll be yours when I die.
All right.
Thank you all.
Well, there are so many people to thank for our program. First, Connor Dale and Rachel Messer, our guests on this evening's Red Barn Radio. We are ever grateful for our volunteers and our staff who make our production happen so beautifully every week of the year. We want to thank all of you for listening to our webcast, watching us on social media, and those listening to us on the network of Red Barn radio stations and media worldwide. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn's premier radio partner. That's Central and Eastern Kentucky's radio news leader. You can listen online at weku.org. It's your chance to hear more great live music from Red Barn Radio and WEKU, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Those of you here in the Central Kentucky area, well, you got to be sure to check out Red Barn TV. It's our weekly program of music, now on ABC 36 WTVQ. Red Barn Radio comes to you from our home, the Arts Place Performance Hall, in the city of Lexington, Kentucky. Our website has updates and further information on our program. We're on the web at redbarnradio.com. Before we close out tonight, let's bring back Connor Dale and Rachel Messer for one more tune. All right.
Good.
Thank you.
I won't be your sweet tea if you're not my sugar coffee. Don't go thinking I'll always be right here. I'll never be the one to say I didn't tell you sooner. Sonny, let me make this crystal clear. Can't you see I'm just the one I want you to be proud of? Don't you know I love it when you tell me I'm a doll? Tell me when's the last time that you went and bought me roses. I reckon you could do a better job. Well, every now and then I'd love for you to take me dancing. All you ever want to do is smoke and sit around. You used to talk about all the places you would take me. You've taken all the fun out of settling down. Can't you see I'm just the one I want you to be proud of? Don't you know I love it when you tell me I'm a doll? Tell me when's the last time that you went and bought me roses. I reckon you could do a better job. Can't you see I'm just the one I want you to be proud of? Don't you know I love it when you tell me I'm a doll? Tell me when's the last time that you went and bought me roses. I reckon you could do a better job. Tell me when's the last time that you went and bought me roses. I reckon you could do a better job. Yeah, I reckon you could do a better job. Thank you all. Thank you guys. Thanks for having us.
Well, that's all for our show for this week. You can see and hear Red Barn Radio worldwide as we stream live on the web on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern in North America. You can also listen to archived performances on Patreon, Spotify, and iTunes. And remember this, every like, comment, share, and subscribe, it helps bring roots music Southern style to your neck of the woods. And finally this, if any of our featured artists are performing in your area, get out and hear them live. They need you now more than ever. And from all of us here at Red Barn Radio, to all of our friends worldwide, keep working together to be safe and healthy. And until next time, good night from Red Barn Radio.